Hello and welcome to Business Arena on TVP World. I'm your host, Marie Cato. Join me for the latest business headlines of the day. Consulting firm Deloitte has been hit with the largest fine ever imposed on an audit company by the Polish authorities. The move is a consequence of a scandal that erupted in Poland back in 2018. The fine levied by the Polish Agency for Audit Oversight, a government audit watchdog, consists of two separate penalties totaling more than 4 million euros, approximately 240 times more than the previous record. The penalty is reportedly linked to irregularities discovered in the financial statements of the liability management company GetBank, which Deloitte had been certifying until the company's collapse. The GetBank case is one of the biggest financial scandals in recent history of the country and resulted in 9,000 people losing 700 million euros. PKO BP, Poland's biggest bank, has opened a new corporate client office in the Romanian capital, Bucharest. The company says the move answers the call of the bank's enterprise customers, as many Polish businesses have set up shop in Romania. This isn't the first office PKO BP has opened for corporates abroad. The bank opened its first branch of this type in Germany nearly a decade ago. After that came the Czech Republic and Slovakia. PKO BP is also present on the Ukrainian market via its subsidiary Credobank. The bank says foreign branches for corporate clients are part of its development strategy for the next 2 years. PKO BP has just more than 12 million customers in Poland. The company raked in 1.6 billion euros in profit in the first 9 months of 2024. As Moscow's full-scale invasion of Ukraine nears its 3-year mark, hundreds of multinationals are still operating in Russia. According to a recent report, 2/3 of foreign entities active in Russia before the war continue to do business in the country.
Moscow is feeling a squeeze on its finances, but the money continues to flow. NGOs Business for Ukraine and Squeezing Putin, in cooperation with the Kyiv School of Economics, compiled data on over 1,600 multinational firms still doing business in Russia and calculate that they have contributed as much as $21.6 billion into the Russian budget in profit taxes alone. And if you thought that the largest share of these taxes is paid by Chinese firms, you'd be wrong. By far, in the 2023 fiscal year, the largest share of taxes was paid by firms headquartered in the United States. They put $1.2 billion in Russian coffers. They were followed by German and Austrian companies. China only comes in at a distant fourth. Why does this matter?
Ultimately, by remaining in Russia, they are indirectly financing the war effort. They are contributing to human rights abuses and war crimes in Ukraine, and they're fundamentally undermining their own government's foreign policies and the contributions of their own citizens to support the people of Ukraine.
So which of these firms are putting in the most? In terms of the actual profit taxes they report paying, Austria's Raiffeisen Bank took the top spot, paying almost $500 million into the Kremlin's budget. It's followed by China's Cherry Auto, America's tobacco giant Philip Morris, and Japan's GTI, along with Italian, French and German firms. But profit taxes alone do not show the true contribution a firm makes to the economy. They also pay VAT and salaries to employees, among other things.
And if you were to speak to my colleagues at Kyiv School of Economics, they would say that they think revenue is a more complete form of contribution to the Russian economy.
In terms of revenue, perhaps unsurprisingly, nicotine peddlers Philip Morris and JTI generated $6.9 and $6.7 billion respectively. We also find France's Leroy Merlin and Auchan, the Swiss company Nestlé, America's Pepsi and Mars, as well as Germany's Metro on the leaderboard. Business for Ukraine contacted many of these companies and have published their responses on their website.
Many of these companies claim to be providing essential goods to the Russian people. We contest that.
It certainly can be argued that the definition of essential service is being stretched in many cases here. Companies choosing to stay will be paying even more in 2025, as Moscow has just raised the corporate tax rates from 20 to 25%.
Inflation in Poland reached 4.7% for the second month in a row in December. That's both good and bad news, as the indicator shows no signs of abating, but at the same time, it isn't growing higher. There were no surprises when it came to the sources of inflation. Energy prices were the main culprits, as well as unexpected increases in food prices. However, what's more troubling is that core inflation, the indicator without food and energy prices, is still high at about 4%. This points to increases in the price of services, which has been plaguing Poland in recent months due to a fast growth in wages. Eradicating inflation completely worldwide has proven to be so difficult that economists have even coined the term last mile of disinflation to describe the struggle. Experts and politicians in Poland are outraged that the country has not been included on the list of the US's closest allies when it comes to sharing AI technology. The Polish government, which earlier this week unveiled an ambitious plan for the development of the tech, protested the move, claiming it doesn't make sense.
Access to these little metal plates defines a country's ability to develop cutting-edge technology. And Poland's capabilities in this area have just been curtailed. Warsaw has found itself outside the club of countries that enjoy unlimited access to the cutting-edge US-made NVIDIA chips that are critical for AI development. This has generated a lot of backlash, with the Polish embassy in Washington demanding an explanation from American authorities. Poland's Deputy Minister of Digital Affairs, Dariusz Stenderski, told TVP World that the ministry is struggling to understand the reasoning behind the US's move.
It's typical final days of every administration where all delayed decisions, prepared or not, are published. However, we really do not see the interest, not even for the world and for the global chain of AI, but we cannot even see the interest for the US.
Washington has divided the world into three categories. Tier 1, or the US's 18 key allies, are countries with robust technology protection regimes. They've been granted unlimited access to advanced chips. Tier 2, which includes Poland along with most of Africa, will be allowed to import 50,000 chips, with the possibility of doubling that figure. Countries in the third tier, which Washington considers hostile, will be completely cut off from deliveries.
Whether or not this means that we want to develop our own data, like AI data centers locally, of course that's going to affect us, because 50,000 GPUs is nothing. Elon Musk's XAI, they built their Colossus data center, and they purchased over 100,000 H200 GPUs just for one company.
Washington's announcement comes at an unfortunate time, just as Warsaw is ramping up its AI efforts. This week, the Polish government unveiled an AI fund intended to jumpstart innovation in both the economy and national defense, touting investments worth hundreds of millions of euros. The AI fund could disburse roughly 220 million euros. These resources will be directed towards startups, SMEs and major industrial players, all under the banner of building a Polish AI factory. How Poland will now reconcile these ambitious plans with restricted access to state-of-the-art chips remains an open question. However, Minister Stenderski says that the restrictions imposed by the US won't hamper Poland's plans to double AI computing resources in 2025. He's also hopeful that the incoming President Donald Trump will scrap these restrictions.
We're going to get into this AI story in just a moment on The Bottom Line, but for now, that's all for our business news updates. For more business stories, check out tvpworld.com.